Imagine the scene. Dignitaries from around the globe gather at the site of Auschwitz concentration camp to commemorate the 80th anniversary of its liberation. It's a solemn event marking the end of one of history's darkest chapters. Yet, conspicuously absent is the Prime Minister of Israel, the nation born from the ashes of the Holocaust. Sounds crazy, right? Well, that's precisely what will happen on January 27, 2025, if Poland gets its way. On the 80th anniversary of the liberation of Auschwitz, the most notorious killing ground of the Holocaust, the Prime Minister of Israel, leader of the nation resurrected from the ashes of that genocide, will be absent. Not because he refuses to attend, but because Poland has threatened to arrest him under a grotesque and politically motivated International Criminal Court ICC warrant. So, while Netanyahu, the democratically elected Prime Minister of the world's only Jewish state, is deliberately sidelined, leaders from countries that gladly collaborated with the Nazis or turned away Jewish refugees or stood idly by as millions were slaughtered, will gather to wring their hands, pose for photos, and make pious speeches. It's not just surreal, it's obscene. Think about it. The leader of Israel, whose very existence is a defiant rebuke to the forces that tried to erase the Jewish people, barred from entering the gates of Auschwitz to honour the memory of the 6 million victims of the Holocaust. Meanwhile, diplomats from nations complicit in the Holocaust and others whose modern policies enable rising anti-Semitism will sit comfortably in the front rows, and the Jewish state silenced and snubbed. This isn't just absurd, it's an insult to history, to the victims of the Holocaust and to every Jew alive today. Prime Minister Netanyahu, this is not just an affront to you personally. It's an affront to all Jews, past and present. It is a grotesque humiliation aimed at undermining Israel's legitimacy and moral authority. It is a slap in the face of every Holocaust survivor who rebuilt their lives in the Jewish state and every descendant of those who perished, whose very existence today stands as a defiant testament to Jewish resilience. Don't let them get away with it. The ancient Greeks didn't get away with it. At the time of the Hanukkah story, Antiochus IV Epiphanes, a ruthless tyrant whose family inherited a province of the Greek Empire from Alexander the Great, stormed into Jerusalem with military force and desecrated the Holy Temple. He erected idols, installed Greek gods, and ordered the Jews to bow and sacrifice to them. Some Jews complied, hoping that submission might preserve peace. But Matityahu the high priest and his sons, led by Judah Maccabee, refused to surrender. They wouldn't allow humiliation to become the new normal. Outnumbered and outmatched, they stood tall, fought back, and prevailed. Their first act upon reclaiming the temple was to light the menorah. That flame has burned ever since, a testimony that Jews will not be cowed. Not then, not now. Mr. Netanyahu, you must be Judah Maccabee, strong, proud, and unafraid. Go to Poland, stand where millions of our people perished, and declare, without hesitation, that the Jewish people are still here, still standing, and will never be silenced again. Dare them to arrest you. Dare them to drag the Prime Minister of Israel, the representative of Holocaust survivors and their descendants, into custody on the very soil that drank their blood. Let the cameras roll and let the world see the true face of modern anti-Semitism, the kind that hides behind international law and hollow platitudes. And if they try, let them face the global outrage that will follow. The fury of Jews and non-Jews alike who still have a moral conscience. Go to Auschwitz, Mr. Netanyahu, not just as a leader but as a symbol. Show them that we are no longer victims, no longer voiceless. Show them that we are the Maccabees, and we do not bow. And to those in Washington, D.C. who still understand right from wrong, remember, that Israel is not just your closest ally in the Middle East, it's the only democracy in the region, standing firm and holding the line in an increasingly unstable world. Every enemy of the West has tried to bring Israel down, but Israel has done what others were too afraid to do. Hamas is crippled. Hezbollah is reeling. Assad's Syria has collapsed into irrelevance. And the Houthis, along with their Iranian backers, are next. Israel is fighting the battles the West refuses to fight, defending not just itself but the values and security of the free world. The United States has long opposed the ICC's outrageous overreach and its obsession with targeting Israel. That opposition must not waver now. This is not just an attack on Israel, it is an attack on the moral foundations of America's closest ally and, by extension, on America itself. To allow Benjamin Netanyahu, the elected leader of the Jewish state, to be barred from a Holocaust memorial is to embolden those who seek to delegitimize Israel and the West. Now is the time to act. Diplomatic channels must be mobilized immediately to ensure Netanyahu can attend this memorial unimpeded and unmolested. To do anything less is to send a message that anti-Semitic agendas dressed up as international law can go unchallenged, and that message must never be sent. If Netanyahu does not attend, history will record a disgraceful spectacle. The leader of the Jewish state, the only Jewish country in the world, absent from Auschwitz, while nations that turned their backs on the Jews, or worse, actively aided their murder, take center stage with sanctimonious speeches and hollow gestures. The optics are not just nauseating, they are a betrayal of memory and truth. Mr. Netanyahu, ignore the threats. Defy the anti-Semitism masquerading as justice. Show the world that Jews will never again be humiliated, not by violence, not by persecution, and certainly not by the hypocrisy of the international institutions hiding behind the veil of legality. Let your presence at Auschwitz declare that the Jewish people have endured, they have survived, they have rebuilt, and they will never be erased. Light the menorah. Be Judah Maccabee, bold, unyielding and fearless. The Jewish people and history demand nothing less.